Service Alliance community. How y'all doing today? Got Shayna alongside of me. At least one of us is coherent.
I don't know about that. I don't know if anybody has recovered yet from ASTI.
I don't think so. I don't think anyone has. Anyone who was there is riding the struggle bus this week. That's for show. For show.
For sugar.
Yeah, it's been a rough week. I got sick. Someone got me sick on the airplane. I hate airplanes. They're like, Petri dishes. I spent 24 hours in bed. I was just knocked me out.
I gave Andy the day off yesterday, but he came in and his voice was worse yesterday than it was all of last week.
Oof.
So.
Oof. No good. But we had a good time.
Yeah.
We gotta put our new graphic up. You need to send me that picture of you and I together so I can put up our new morning grind graphic.
I will do that.
Since we actually have a picture together.
We have one just somewhere.
Yeah. We have an old one.
Yeah. From a long, long time ago. We were so much younger.
And I was so much heavier. Good morning, Adam. Yeah, so man.
Really? That? We are wrapping up our book, people. I'll just do it for Zach. Last chapter in the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. And if you weren't in our knitting club,
Overbooked.
Even if you have listened every single week, this is definitely a book that you should read.
It was good. It was really good book.
Anything by John Maxwell is good, though.
Yeah, it was. He's just he's a fantastic author, fantastic speaker, and just really has a heart for people and a heart for leaders. So,
good morning, Gasper. Good morning, Jeremy.
You let it off yesterday for me. I sent you a message at night. Hey, can you ask the questions? I am not going to be getting out of bed.
You didn't give me any questions, so I was just making them up on the fly.
Wait, I made everything up as I went along.
You have some sort of little booky thingy.
I do. I had the workbook on it, but I rarely.
It's okay.
On that.
I've led book clubs before. Just usually not with that many people or with men.
That's true. They're kind of ornery. But it's good. We had fun. And that was practicing a little bit of the law of legacy. You are leading the next one. I have passed the baton off to you. You are leading Win the Day by Mark Batterson. Excellent book. You people look as tired as I feel. Yeah, I'm probably
talking about us.
I probably feel as tired as you feel, Andy. I'm not gonna lie. It took all I had to get that little piddly good morning Service Alliance community out. That was a struggle. But yeah, so Win the Day, Mark Batterson. It's a mindset book. Talking about compartmentalizing into 24-hour chunks, right? You have today, you don't have tomorrow, and the past is already gone. So, it's good. It's a good way to look at life and to begin to process things. When I'm at my best and following the principles and Win the Day, things tend to get done. When I'm not, oh boy. Yeah, squirrels. You're not wrong, EJ.
EJ's just jealous.
He is just jealous. Wow. Overachiever. Good old Jeremy. Knocking it out. Ready to roll.
Why don't you lead this book?
Because that's just no fun. I led the last one.
I was talking about Jeremy.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
See, he's already read it.
You got voted onto the island.
I know. I'm trying to decide I'm going to see if people start being nicer to me so I don't choose them for the next book.
No.
Or if I just choose people like someone like Jeremy, just out of honoriness.
I mean, we did say that the leader gets to choose the next. So that's just following the law of legacy.
Super excited.
Yeah.
Super excited.
All right. Well, let's pray it in and then continue the rabbit trails. You want to pray us in?
Oh, baby Jesus.
Right.
Okay. God, I thank you for the day. I thank you for the breath that you've given us, for the life that you've given us. And I give you the praise and the glory for that. I pray that, Father, that you guide mine and Zach's words, Father, that you give us the words that you would like for us to say and that would have meaning to you and glorify you. I pray, Father, as we go about our day, that you keep all of us safe and let us all have a blessed day today and make and let it all be about you and give you the glory for it as well. In the name of Jesus, amen.
Amen. All right, so 21 laws. What was your favorite law?
Oh, you put me on the spot.
That happens.
That's like some of that was 21 weeks ago, Zach.
Well,
I'm not.
I enjoy the law of process. I think a lot of us bump into the law of the lid and don't realize it. So it's a good
buy-in.
one. Buy-in is important. If you don't have buy-in, forget about it.
And it really, some people say, well, I'm small, I don't need buy-in, but all it takes is one technician. Like if you're, I remember when we went from time and material to flat rate, and one of our technicians, whose daughter actually works for us now, but he seemed like he was all bought in. I've got this. And then one day he just walks in, he's like, nope, I don't believe in flat rate. I don't believe what you're doing. I don't believe this. I'm quitting. I'm starting my own company and I'm going to go do new construction. And then within a year, he was out of business. He didn't have buy-in.
Right.
And it hurt us, but.
You experienced the law of intuition. You reached out to me to ask what I thought about how we should run the next club, the next book. And I said, you have this intuition. You need to trust that feeling and run with it. That is something as leaders, we sometimes like push aside. We're like, well, I don't know. Is it really right?
Yeah.
We tend to second guess ourselves. And so being able to trust that intuition built upon the experiences is important.
I mean, I just don't want to spread it out over a full year, but on the other hand, we almost did that. I felt like we did that with this book.
It did
22 weeks if you count the week that we just took off.
Yeah.
But yet on the other hand, reading your audience and knowing
we're busy business owners.
And not everybody is a reader, but we've got a lot of them that are in there. Although if you ask them, they would say they're not readers. Man, they're right along with us. I'm very proud of them for this. It's a huge step, and it's really is a commitment to better yourself. And it's a commitment for those of us who have to get up and be on a Zoom at 6 o'clock in the morning too.
It's true. It's true.
But if you're not bettering yourself, what are you doing?
Right. You can't pour. You can't. I mean, I've said it so many times. You cannot pour from an empty cup. Right. So if you're trying to pour into others, whether you're leading one person, you're leading your family, you're leading, 18, 40, 300 people. Right. If you're not bettering yourself, if your leaders below you are not bettering themselves, what good are you doing? Right? Because you're continually, your resources are being depleted. And so getting into an overbook, getting into a mastermind, those things are things that pour into you. Some of the guys are listening to the book, guys and gals are listening to the book on Audible, and nothing wrong with that. Right. I like to have I have the Audible and the physical of all the books that we've done. But that's just because I like to highlight, so if you look at my copy of Win the Day, it's highlighted all over the place.
all
So
over.
I enjoy being able to bring things to my attention that I need to work on, focus on, or even things that I've experienced along the way. Like, oh, okay, that's a growth area for me. Right? Yeah. Mark Kelly.
Yep. That was me that you were chatting with, by the way. I was sitting on my couch in my reading room right before Zach said, "Hey, what are we talking about today?" And I was like, "Oh, crud, I'm on this morning Zoom." Oh, there goes Jason.
Hi, Jason.
He says hi. Now get out. Go away. I said that, not him. Don't get mad at him. Anyways, so we had some really good conversations. This week was our last law. It was the law of legacy.
Legacy. Yes.
And we were talking about how there was another conversation, and this was brought up while we were at ASTI too, about how, when you look at your business, what do you want from the end result of your business? And whether it is bringing in a child to take over, or some of us, we're like, I don't know. We actually told our kids we didn't want them. There goes Andy. I need to put my blanket back up again. This is ridiculous. There's doors they can walk around. It takes a little bit longer, but there are doors they can walk around. But I'm right in between. I'm right between them. Anyways,
they're troublemakers. It's all right.
Oh my gosh, try being between them. Like I have 1 3 feet on that side and 1 3 feet on this side.
Nope.
Anyway,
so law of legacy. Good conversations.
Yes. So some of us, like even with us, so we're a 3rd generation owner of my company, my electrical company. It was my grandfather, it was my mom's dad, but my mom and my dad took it over. And then Jason, I've been owning it for 19 years. And we told our kids at one point, we don't want you in the business, because there was so much struggle that my parents had, so much struggle that we had. We want you to go out there and do something different. We don't want you to feel like you have to be here because it's family and it's okay. And we have actually made a decision by the end of this year. We're either going to sell the business or we're just going to close the doors. And my family is okay with it. We talked about doing this about 10 years ago, and I just couldn't do it. It was my family. I can't do this to my grandmother. Who's still alive. I can't do this to my mother. And now my family's okay with it. It's okay.
Right.
But for me, of course, it's a legacy of my office help now, but even past that, outside of that, what is the legacy you're leaving your children? What is the legacy you're leaving your wife or your husband? Or and so we talked a lot about that, which I know you weren't feeling very well, Zach, so you missed all of that conversation yesterday. But we were even talking about good legacy versus bad legacy. You can have, for instance, Jason's grandfather was not the nicest person, and that's the legacy he left his grandchildren, is that he was not a very nice person. Now, Jason was quite young when he passed, so he doesn't remember all of it. But his older sister, who is 8 years older than him, remembers everything. But yet, if you were to talk to people out in public, he left a legacy of Mr. Wonderful, and everybody loved him. So you can leave bad legacies just as well as you can leave good legacies.
Yeah, you can leave a broke legacy too.
Yeah.
My grandfather, he gambled away the family fortune. He did it by going to the board of trade all the time. So it's legal gambling, but the mindset that he created throughout the family was problematic, right? It's not a good legacy to leave. And so you get a choice, right? And even with the electrical business, right, you have a choice of what you're leaving behind. And if legacy wasn't thought about generations back, right, they just did a business and didn't think in the future, then you end up with what you ended up with, right? And that's why I would say it's easier for them to be okay with it, because they didn't think that far ahead when they
Well,
started it. Right?
there was also conversations about how some of us, as we've gotten older, we've realized the errors of our way having businesses and having too much focus on the business and not enough focus on our children. And what are we leaving our children with? What are those things that we missed because we spent 10, 12, 14 hours working, or even when we're with them, we're not engaged with them. We're still too busy working on our phones, or at nighttime, I made a comment on Pete post this morning. He said he tried reading last night and he fell asleep. And I said, by nighttime, I'm done. I'm just like spent. So how many of us, after we've put in 12 mind days that just drain everything from us, and then we go home and we don't leave anything for our children? So what's that legacy that we're leaving for them?
Yep. No bueno.
Yeah.
Bueno. But then we move into win of the day. We got 24 hours. I love it.
It's a good. I feel like it's a good segue.
It is.
Because we're talking about a legacy now. Now let's look at those habits that are either bad that are in our lives, or habits that we need to change. For instance, if you're working too much, you've created a habit of working too much. If you do not shut your brain off when you get home, you've made that a habit. What are those habits that you need to make that will make your life easier? So I'm excited. There's a lot of good habit books out, but I've heard some good stuff about this one.
Mark
and maybe this one will be the one that makes my bad habits wait for good.
He's a really good author. He talks a lot about his experience and legacy even, right? So Mark Batterson, his wife's grandfather, his grandfather, one of them pastored this mega church in Naperville, just northwest of where I'm at. And now he has ended up at City Church of DC. And so they run another mega church out there. But a lot of lessons that they learned along the way. And so the first habit is flip the script. You want to change your life? Start by changing your story. And he does, he introduces the habits and he walks through stuff by teaching through stories, right? A lot of us identify with stories so much more than just someone telling us, well, you should do this, da, 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 da. We identify with the story. We identify when that's laid out.
Right? It's much easier to see it actually truly how it works if you can actually visualize how it works. If someone comes in and says, just do this, you have to know why we're going to be doing that. But stories help put it.
And know that someone's done it before you, right? It helps you if you know that someone else has done it, that it is an achievable thing. So often in our lives, like it's a mindset thing. Our brains trick us. They're like, well, that's never been done. I can't do that. But here, someone's done it. They may not be doing exactly what you want to be doing, but they've used the habits to accomplish the goals, right? And so your brain goes, oh, someone's done this. And there's their story. All right, I can do this thing that I'm trying to do as well. Kiss the wave is the second habit. So the obstacle is not the enemy, it is the way, right? And so it talks about using the momentum of an obstacle as the path. Heard that one before somewhere. That one's been around for a couple thousand years.
Yes.
Maybe we just need a story to go along with that to ingrain that in our brains, huh?
No stories.
Yeah, stories. And then winning the day, we get into part 2. He breaks it into like sub parts. as well. So beyond just breaking it into habits, he breaks it into subparts. So eat the frog. If you want God to do the super, you got to do the natural. So in other words, like, you have to do the mundane, the day to day. You have to do the tasks every day. The little habits build upon little habits, build upon little habits, build upon little habits. And so if you want to see amazing things in your life, you have to begin to do these things consistently, day in and day out, right? So
We've had some good comments. I don't know how to click. Am I able to click on them? Because they're not coming up when I click on them.
So Gasper, his son came in to talk to him at 6, figuring out a game plan for his life and seeing if God blesses it. I love that.
I feel like Gasper and I are a lot alike in the fact that our sons are about the same age, and my oldest son is now in the business. So I'm seeing a lot of the same type of stuff happening with his son as with my son. So it's pretty awesome, and I'm very proud to have my son in the business.
Some people, their kids are upset because they're too focused on their business instead of them. Need to balance that. Yeah, for sure. That is something I'm guilty of. My daughter turned 7 today. She's 7 years old.
There goes Andy again.
Oh, the bearded wonder.
He said he was trying to stay out of the frame by bending down. But I see that a lot with businesses, and it really hurts me. And I know it's not really my place to say anything, like, because I work with so many companies, and I can see a lot of the owners and how much they're working, and knowing that they have small children at home or they have a spouse at home that's waiting on them. That's always been one thing that Jason's been good about. Jason knew evenings belong to family. Now we would talk about it, but like, he didn't, unless it was a dire emergency, he would not work in the evenings, and he typically did not work on Saturdays and Sundays, because he understood the value of family. But I've seen so many people do that, and that to me, I feel like that's a good legacy he's left his kids, is the value of valuing your family.
Well, and you have to find what balance works for you, right? I have some friends that they work all the time, but when they're working, with their family, they're with their family. So even if they're working 24/7, right, they're not working 24/7. They find those time block moments. I say, listen, this is the 2 hours that I'm doing this task, right? And then they're out with their families and doing that stuff. 7 years ago, we took over the appliance business, and our daughter was born a month later. And I spent a lot of those 6 years not around, because I was always working. I was always doing something, and I tried to find time block. I tried to find that balance with my daughter. So her bedtime routine, like, that is a sacred thing in this house. I don't miss the bedtime routine. I read her a story. We say prayers. I sing her a song. Like, that is a non-negotiable thing, right? So starting day at 5 a.m. First, go out, spend time working on the business, new habits. Yeah, building those habits is important. That goes into habit 4. How you do anything is how you do everything. That's fly the kite. How you do anything is how you do everything. Yeah, and you guys are going to get to hear this in a podcast. Actually, I sit down and talk with the bearded wonder, Andy, about all sorts of things. It's just fun.
Lots of things from what I was told.
Yeah, we're all over the place. I'm ADHD to the max all the time, so it's a really good conversation. So you'll enjoy.
It was definitely a blessing having him come in. He's got degrees and management skills that. And Jason just said, "You have degrees." He's got such a huge background. And good morning, Alex. And whenever he came on board, I'm like, I can't pay you what you're making. He's like, it's okay. I just want to spend time with my kids. And that's.
He did say you were quite resistant to hiring him. It took some cajoling to get you to hire him.
Well, it wasn't even just me. We had a mutual friend who he gave his application to 3 times, and she said, no, we can't have men working in our business. And so she finally gave it to me. And then whenever I interviewed him, like, I can't afford you. And he's like, no, just pay me, whatever. I don't care. So, and now here we are.
He's such a good dude.
He is
like
a good
Andy.
dude. He is a good dude.
We get along. Same is true in reverse. You can be with your family, but are you really present? Yeah. I mean, that's the point. You got to find the balance that works. You have to be able to find that boundary. And when you're there, you have to be present wherever you are.
Our phones have made that so difficult. Phones have made our businesses much easier, but they've made our life, in some aspects, they've made our lives easier, but they've also made our lives harder.
Well, and they've changed the way that customers interact. They expect you to interact right now.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to set a boundary and say, if that is the type of customer, that is not my type of customer.
Yeah.
If that's what's important to you, right?
And back in the day, if there was an emergency, I remember my mom would drive all over town trying to find my dad. He was usually at the supply store, one of them, never at the job site. But, someone's need an emergency right now. That's how we did it. And people waited because they knew they had to wait.
It's true.
Not now.
It's true. I mean, that's one of the biggest things that my buddy and I struggle with in the flooring business is, people send message at 10 o'clock at night. And he's like, we got to answer the message. I'm like, it's 10 o'clock at night.
Put your phone down.
There is no need to respond to a message about a floor measure at 10 o'clock at night. It is not an emergency.
I did that the other day. I kept on meaning to message this lady about cleaning my house, and I kept on forgetting during the day. So I sent her a message at night. I said, you do not have to respond tomorrow, but I keep on forgetting during the day. So here's what I'm looking for. Talk to you tomorrow.
And that's fine. That's that is the type of customer, right? That, hey, listen, this is on my mind. I need to send this message so I don't forget again. And then you get back to them, right? But what I'm saying is that there is a subset of customers out there that because they can access us 24/7 now, they think they have a right to us 24/7, and that is not true.
Yeah. Well, and then you also have the owners who feel like if they don't do it right then and there, and that's not always the case also. I had one guy this last week that said, I have to answer my phones. I have to answer my text messages. And I'm like, but
Why?
do you? At midnight, do you really truly have to answer about that refrigerator? No, you don't. A lot of times it's just on their mind and they thought about it, so they sent that message. Wait till tomorrow. It'll be okay.
I have a theory.
Okay, what's your theory?
A good majority of CEOs, business owners, whatever, are ADHD.
Am I ADHD?
Yes.
Andy says no. He said I'm just very disorganized.
A good majority have the struggle with that, right? And so that speaks to your point that it's on my mind. I got to do it. And so I got that message. I got to answer it. I got this. I got to do it. I got this. And they're running around putting out fire after fire after fire because that's the way their mind works instead of doing it in an organized and structured manner. They need that Andy in their life to go, yeah, we're going to do it this way in this organized, logical.
I'm not a C in this profile. So, and my desk says it all.
ID, my S and my C flip. C typically being the lower one.
Yeah.
Haven't answered my business fund. Yeah. I mean, there you go. There's testimonial right there. Time is everything. The guy you hired at the point in his life is more important than money. It's true. And you'll hear that. And you'll actually hear that in the interview with Andy. It was
He's my
definitely
favorite Brit.
a point in his life where time was more important than money. Much of a duty to my family as business. If I spend as much time on the business, then I lose the family. What am I working for? 100%. 100%. Completely agree with Andy.
We all agree with Andy, and if you don't agree with Andy, you might as well just not be his friend. So
that's true. That's true. Habit 5: cut the rope. Playing it safe is risky. Have you played it safe, Shayna? Do you hold back and play it safe in business?
I don't think so.
I don't either. My problem is I need someone to like pull in the reins because I just right off the deep end.
I have someone that pulls in my reins. I'm always,
You do.
because that's that visionary integrator. So I'm like, do this. And he's like, no, we won't do that, but we'll do this instead. Can we do it? Yes, we can.
All right, Bob the Builder. Oh, good night. Wind the clock.
Well.
Time is measured in minutes. Life is measured in moments. Whew, boy, it's powerful stuff there. Very true.
We do forget. Gosh, I think that was in the legacy. Hold on, just a second. Which I do have like an 1892 version of this. I have a very old version of it, but it was on eBay, really cheap.
You heard Dean Lander say it, that the 25th anniversary, which was the one that came out at 2022, I believe, is the only one to get.
So he put in here, leaders' lasting value is measured by succession. That wasn't it. Eleanor Roosevelt commented, "Life is like a parachute jump. You've got to get it right the first time." I've always been conscious of the fact that our time here on earth is limited and we need to make the most of it. Life is not a dress rehearsal.
It's true.
It's not a dress rehearsal.
It's true.
We can't wind back time. That's the one thing that we can never get back.
It's true.
And so many of us waste our time away.
Mm-hmm.
And some of it, like we were discussing yesterday, we would say waste our time. Some of it was really truly setting us up for what we need. But my waste of time, when I'm thinking about it, is like playing with my phone, or I'm wasting my time away. Yeah. And I can't get it back.
It's true.
Anyways, back to habits.
You gotta choose what's important and follow through with it. And there's going to be moments of downtime, right? Like life isn't all work. But
no, my brain is fried at night.
Yeah, there does need to be those moments of unwinding and relaxing. And I'm super guilty. I mean, I took my first vacation in a decade down to Tennessee to see Dr. Dan and JT.
Oh, see, you're going to be jealous of me. I'm going to be gone almost the entire month of April. It's so exciting. We're doing a 2-week trip for our 25th anniversary out west in the RV. And then we are doing the Encompass training in Atlanta. And then heading down to Mississippi right after that, hauling the bike behind us for a motorcycle rally.
Nice.
Pretty exciting.
Habit 7. Seed the clouds. Seed the clouds. So today, what do you want to see tomorrow? That lines right up with Law of Legacy.
And so going along with both Legacy and See the Clouds, I'm part of a women's group, and she made the comment, and it's so true. Her husband got home from an event, and they wrote down 5 goals that they want to accomplish in 5 years. And they wrote it down. They wrote it on like a poster board or something like that. But then the poster board got stuck in the corner of the room, and over time things got piled on top of it. And 5 years later, they pulled it out, said, "What have we accomplished?" And they hadn't accomplished any of it. So they did make the habit of writing it down, but they didn't make the habit of actually working on it and making it achieve. Come come to pass. So we can see clouds, but what are we going to do? What's the work we're going to put in? What are we going to change in ourselves to get us that legacy, to get us the goals, to make that cloud come to pass?
Well, I think that goes back to the other habits, right? How you do anything is how you do everything, right? So if you're scattered, if you're inconsistent, if you are, right? You have to be willing to break those patterns, to break from the status quo, and make the necessary adjustments. And sometimes, a mindset thing, right? We as humans are guilty of all or nothing. So it's I'm doing all this or I'm not doing anything. Our minds work that way. And so you have to work to go, what is that gray area in between? What is something that I can do today? What is this next little step that I can take that then propels me to the next step, right? So you have these big lofty goals, and that's what happens so many times, is that we get stuck in this fantastic visualization, right? I have these big lofty dreams and it's going to be amazing. And we get stuck there. We live there in our heads and we never accomplish anything. We have to have those big lofty dreams, but then bring it back and take those small steps towards those dreams.
I just
Require
bought
work.
a new book. Hold on just a second. And I love the title, the subtitle on it. Give me a minute to find it.
I feel like I need the Jeopardy theme.
Right. It was called Chase the Lion. Oh, it's by him.
By Mark Batterson. Excellent book.
I didn't even realize it was by the same person.
Yeah. Chase the Lion is awesome. And there's another one that comes actually before that, which is In the Pit with a Lion on a Snowy Day or something like that. So
the subtitle, though, is what like really truly got me. It said, if your dream doesn't scare you, it's too small.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If you have ever seen my org chart, for those of you that have seen my org chart, it's pretty scary.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
It's 7.5 feet long for our 2032 organization chart. It has almost 700 people on it.
Pretty wild.
We're going to do it.
Because it's big, scary, hairy. It's a BHAG.
Because I have Andy.
Well, it's a BHAG. It's a big, hairy, audacious goal. And you've set plans in place and you're taking the baby steps to head
Make it
in
happen.
the direction, right?
But I could stick that chart up very easily and then not do anything. And come 2032, I won't even be remotely there.
It's in taking the steps along the way to make it happen. Yeah, I love all his books. I've actually read them all. He's a fantastic author, fantastic storyteller. So
I've not been reading the comments. Did you post them all?
Yeah, I post them all.
Okay.
I post them all. All right. Well, that's enough ADD fueled fun for the day. Come back tomorrow for more ADD
Not with
fun
me.
with TK and EJ. Should be a good time.
Should be.
Should be. All right, guys. Have a good day.